Dearest gentle reader, almost a month ago I read a tweet says that I love watching the rich people lives that they don't have any stress but just finding the love of their life. And this tweet was about Bridgerton. I know that this topic has been told so many times, but what makes Bridgerton different is that the villains aren't that much evil in this one. Well, they are, but they are not just pure, killing people or something like that. They're just gossiping and wanting something a little bit more. Hello dearest gentle reader, my name is Ash and today I'm going to talk about Bridgerton season 4. This video will be full of spoilers, so you better watch the season. But to make it easier, I will make this video part 1 and part 2. You will find the time codes down below there so you can enjoy the video better. I write down my part 1 review before I watch part 2, so yeah. Okay, let's start with part 1. The Bridgerton is back after many years and I'm a little bit sick of that, but it's okay. When I learned that this season is going to be about Benedict, I was excited because I love Benedict. We see his story on the first 3 seasons, a little by little. We see him in the season 3 more, and his storyline was a little bit interesting to be honest, and it was so different, you know what I'm saying? And watching him, a little bit, he was not a person who fallen in love. He was, looking for something more exciting, you know what I'm saying? But watching him falling in love, I kind of think like, oh my god, are we going to watch something like Anthony? Because in the first season we saw that Anthony was someone who doesn't even care about love, he doesn't even wanted it, and then he fell in love with Kate, which is, they are my favorite couple ever in this show, and I was just like, okay, we are going to see something really big, because a man who don't even believe in love falls harder. Because it's Bridgerton. But there's some detail that annoys me a little bit. So Benedict has a really, how can I say that? Has a really fun life, you know what I'm saying? But in the other hand, our main girl, Sophie, didn't do anything about love, you know what I'm saying? So I a little bit hate this trope, man is there having a lot of sexual experiences and the main girl is there absolutely virgin, and it's just like, you know what I'm saying? I'm a little bit tired of that. I wish we saw something, a woman, the main girl has more experience than the man. I don't know, maybe something like that. Maybe both of them are like, doesn't have any experience, something like that will be, I don't know what I'm saying, what I'm trying to say, because in this, unfortunately, even though it's Bridgerton, even though everything is so pink and perfect, the woman still has some, rules to live with it, unfortunately. So starting with the mask ball, it was really lovely to see all this detail. I love, the thing that I love about Bridgerton is that every detail, this art director, I don't know who that is, the art team works really well. Like, dresses, like, it's just not the woman dresses, it's also men, like every detail. It's so wonderful. Even though the meals, the cooks, the desserts are looking incredible. I love every detail about that mask ball and the general of the Bridgerton. Seeing Benedict just like, oh, I don't want to go to that mask ball, something like that. And then we are seeing Sophie entering into our screen for the first time. I really like the way they introduced Sophie like that. She just come to the story with a mask, we don't know anything about her. It was so mysterious, and I love the way they give her story. It was really good storytelling, and I love that how Sophie loved every detail about the, she was looking at the chandelier, she was admiring all those people around there, admiring all the atmosphere there. This is exactly how I watched the TV show, and I really loved it because it was so intense and it really lovely moment, and I didn't even get cringe like, oh my god, look at this wall, not something like that. She was literally, admiring that atmosphere, and she really belongs there. But she really felt like she belonged there because she was exactly like an art. It was her place to get shine. And that exactly moment, Benedict looking over Sophie and he was just like, okay, what, like, who is she? I have to find it. Oh my god, it was so cute. It was really romantic and it was exactly like a Cinderella, like something like that out of from the tales. I really love every detail about it. I love how they find each other, how they just, click right over there. They go to outside of the garden, get some place and they talk there. Their first kiss, the teaching the dance, everything about their first meeting. It was so lovely, so good. Everything. Like, we know what is going to happen, obviously, but even though it was so sweet, so intense, I loved the chemistry between Sophie and Benedict. It was so wonderful, so chef kiss moment, And after that night, we finally see how Sophie's life is, and I really cried, to be honest. I'm not going to lie, because her father was actually someone rich. Unfortunately, she wasn't a child of marriage. And the life of that she got, unfortunately, so sad that stepmother comes to her life, even though she never ever called her mother. I cried. I'm not gonna lie. Some moments are so sad to watch it, and also seeing her so talented. She was literally doing 5 people's job just by herself, and how talented she is. And I'm not going to lie, she became one of my favorite characters on this Bridgerton universe. But I still have to mention that Kate is still one of my favorites. Watching Sophie's story makes this series better, to be honest, because finally we are watching the handmaid's story, like what these people are actually doing. So like I said, I love this world of Bridgerton, all these fancy closets, all this cooking, all those meals, like everything, all those balls, the atmosphere, everything about it is so good. But obviously some people are exactly doing all these things to look better and better, and it comes to handmaids. So watching Sophie and the other handmaids reminds me, to be honest, a little bit myself and this world, how it works, because what they say is they are working all the time and they don't even get enough money. Sounds familiar, unfortunately. But there's one thing that makes me happy, that even though in this life Sophie has a safe place with her co-workers, it was a really good, to be honest. At least she had them, to be honest. I am really glad that all those handmaids, all those workers are really friendly to each other, even though doesn't matter which home you're working with it. All those people are connected to each other and so happy. They have a really lovely place to work. I mean, if you're not working for Penwood's house, you're safe, but otherwise it's just a little bit chaotic and unfortunately bad things happen to you. I mean, it's literally similar to our century, our world, and what we are doing. I love the queen. I love her, her vibe, her character, her sarcastic character. But when she said that enough for this handmaid stories, it was just literally there, The person who rules the world doesn't even care about what the working class doing. Yeah. Or back to the Benedict. I a little bit find weird that his obsession over the silver lady, and you just talk with her for 5 minutes or something like that. Okay, it's good for the story, but it was just okay, maybe you're a little bit, and also, we all know that this whole Bridgerton is really came out from a really pinky world, but I really bit hate that Benedict didn't even get anything from her eyes or something like that. It will be more easier to find her, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I a little bit hate this part of Bridgerton, to be honest, but it's okay. Still, sometimes you have to ignore all of these things because it's Bridgerton world. It has different rules. And to be honest, I like that Benedict didn't even get along with any woman while he was obsessing with the silver lady. When Benedict saved Sophie from those bad guys, and I was really happy, to be honestly. I love all those days that they spent on the village. Everything was so special and so amazing, to be honestly. For the first time, Sophie enjoying being relaxed, not working anything at all, and they are sharing their talks, and Benedict see how Sophie is clever, how she knows everything about it. It was so sweet to watching them like that. And also people who working on that cottage, they were also happy to see them like that. Everything about them, it was so sweet. And yeah, it's just when I was watching, I was just like, okay, they're going to marry it for sure. It's their season. I'm 100% sure that they're going to go back there and live there. Yeah. But still, when they kissed, Benedict was just like, okay, I shouldn't do that because she is, a woman. She's a handsmaid. It will be bad if someone knows about her. It wouldn't be good for her to, she couldn't even get married or something like that. It was really gentleman. I really liked that move. And after all of this, Sophie came to the Benedict house and she started to work there. And I was so happy to her. She find another good house to work with. She find a new friends, and of course it was so obvious that they are not going to kiss or do something like that. When that scene, the episode 4, when they kissed, it was so, oh my god, and it was really right over there. Her necklace was right over there. Benedict can't even see, but he was so horny or something like that, he couldn't even see anything. Like, it will be so easier if he noticed the necklace. He will be like, oh my god, Sophie is the silver lady, like, boom, right over there. But so horny. So when he asked, like, be my mattress, I was just like, are you for real? Like, literally, like 5 minutes ago or something like that, you just talk with your dummy-dumps friends, like, oh, you know what, man? Getting a mattress is fun. Okay, I'm not judging anyone's sexual life. You can get a mattress, do whatever I want. Like I said, like beginning of this video, I really want to see a woman who has more sexual experience than the man sometimes in the relationships in this Bridgerton. But asking something like that to Sophie, like, you literally know that she's going to say no. You literally understand his character, but what was that? What, like... Now, but let's just talk about the other characters on part 1. I want to start with Lady Whistledown, Pam. Okay, so I feel like everyone hates that the society knows that the Pam is the Lady Whistledown. Unfortunately, she couldn't even write something more daring, you know what I'm saying? In the mask ball, she saw something and she was just like, but I can't write it down, because the husband has a mattress, and she was just like, the wife will be so upset, I can do that. Okay, I understand her. It wasn't a good situation right over there. But beginning of this 3 seasons, she was so daring. Okay, she was writing down everything really there. But right now, she was just like a little bit... She's not feeling it, you know what I'm saying? But I understand her too, because she saw that what can Lady Whistledown do? I understand her. This is actually a character development. Lady Whistledown gave a Pam a really great life and opportunities. She really did something herself. But in the end of the day, sometimes gossip is not a good thing, unfortunately. So Pam is facing with all this truth about like chaos of the gossiping, and she was just like, you know what, I'm not going to do it anymore. We see the vibe of her, but still, everyone knowing who is Lady Whistledown is killing the vibe of the Bridgerton. Unfortunately. And plus, Pam and Colin looks really lovely. I really love their season 2. And their baby was so cute, to be honestly. Let's talk about Pam's best friend, Eloise. So, I love Eloise. I love her humor. I love her character. But, unfortunately, after all those 3 seasons, she was kinda saying everything again and over, again and again. And it was just like a little bit annoying. You were just like, okay, can someone give her some new interesting or something like that? I'm not talking about love. Like, give her something different. I don't know. Like, in the season 1 and 2, she was, giving the same vibe, like I'm not interested in marriage or something like that. Okay, we get it. But she also has something like, all those reading books. She has a flirt for a one time. She was looking for the Who's Lady Whistledown. A lot of more about her, you know what I'm saying? But in this season, we just see her just, oh, I don't want to do that. Everything is so boring. Saints. She was just like a broken record. You know what I'm saying? And it was a little bit annoying. And I hope that next season she will be the diamond. I really want to see it so bad. Even though all of those bad things, I still love her. It's not her problem. It's about the writing. I feel like the writers should give her a little bit more. And I hope that next season she will be the diamond. And unfortunately, I didn't like her costume on the mask ball. Sorry. And let's talk about our newest couple, Francesca and John. So I really love their energy, to be honest. In season 3, they didn't have that many scenes. Even though it was so silent. But I liked their energy, to be honest. They were so sweet, so kind. They were like a safe place, Francesca is someone who really is silent person, kind person. And John was really great match for her. But all of this silence doesn't make good that they're also silenced in bed. So let's do the real talk here. So John, I love you, but when it comes to sexual things like that, I'm a little bit mad about you. How do you don't understand that she's not enjoying and she's not there? It's literally obvious. It kind of feels like, men sometimes doesn't even care about what the other partner is having. They just focus on themselves, a little bit selfishness there, men. But, Francesca really there, asking. And I was so sad about Francesca. Like, she doesn't have anyone to talk all about this. She tried to talk this with her mother. Unfortunately, she was too shy. And then she tried to talk about this with Pam, and it was there they were going to talk, but boom, Elise was there and just, she didn't even, that's sad. And everything about this, sexual things and things and women in this century, everything is so forgiven if you're a woman. You have to be virgin. If you're getting to married, you have to give a birth. If you can give a birth, if you can get pregnant, that's your fault. And it really annoys me, okay? If you're creating a pinky world, I wish that they also make these rules more pinkier, more better, you know what I'm saying? Back to our queen. Unfortunately, she didn't like this all handmaid gossiping. If you didn't obsess it with Who is Lady Whistledown, so you will get a really great gossip. Yeah. And we see Agatha, she wants to go to her country, she wants to, get a rest, but unfortunately Queen can't even understand that. Well, the Queen doesn't have that many people around her. I understand her. She felt like, if I lost her to who I have else. But yeah, it was a little bit sad to be honest, she was really tough about that situation. About Alice and Will. So, okay, I love their story in the first 2 seasons. It was they didn't have that many screen time. They were there. They were having their great time. It was cute, but in this season, the first part is just a little bit boring. Because what I want to see more Sophie and Benedict because they're the main characters, and we have a lot of side characters that at some point I was just okay, can we just stop watching them, please? And let's talk about the Penwoods. So Araminta is the villain in this season. To be honestly, I kind of like her vibe. She was so cool and she was so beautiful. I hate to mention that, but she was there. But about the father, Mr. Penwood, so he was just why you're not standing up, why you're not making sure that even though after you die everything is good for the Sophie. I kind of a little bit hated that, to be honestly. And about the Posey and Rosamund, I kind of, their evil level was good, to be honest. It wasn't cringe, it wasn't like, oh, let's make steps, really evil stepsisters that who hate each other, not something like that. I really like that. And Posey was there being always nice to Sophie. I really like that, to be honestly. Okay, let's talk about one of my favorite characters, Violet. Violet finally decided to have some tea. Listen, like I said at the beginning of this, really earlier of this video, in the Bridgerton world, unfortunately, woman doesn't have, experiencing more of sexual things. And after the death of Edmund, Violet's husband, Edmund, yeah, that's what I remember. I'm so sorry. She became a widow, and unfortunately everything was over for her. She was just like, okay, I have 8 children, I have to focus on them. I just make sure everything is good for them, but there's nothing behind left for her. She just really ignored herself and everything about her. Like, she having feelings for Marcus was good. Their story was so good on the previously season 2. I really like them, to be honestly. And when they have the tea, I love it. I was so happy. Even though after all of this stuff happened, Violet feels so guilty. I really hate it, you know what I'm saying? I really need a moment just like, when the Hensmail and the Violet talk about like, ma'am, you need a tea. Everyone needs the tea sometimes. Like, it was a really cute moment. I wish that we had more moments of like that in the between women. It will be better, to be honestly. And thank you for the Mrs. Wilson for that, to making this tea to drinkable. And it shows that how Handmaid has a really big impact on their lives. And after all, the first part was great, to be honest. I really enjoyed that. And let's just talk about the part 2. Okay, I cried a lot during the part 2. Sometimes because of happiness and sometimes, unfortunately, because of sadness. First thing first, we were so mad about the Benedict because he really just said that be my mattress to her. But after that, finally, he decided to talk with Will and he got a great influence by him. I swear to God, sometimes I believe that Benedict doesn't have his own talks. He talked with a friend like, you know what? Getting a mattress is a great thing. He was just like, okay, you know what? I'm going to ask her to be my mattress. And then he talked with the true, like what he can even see, with the Will. He was just like, oh, yeah, I fucked up. Like, do you need someone? Like, you're Benedict, you're a clever man, but looks like when you fall in love, you just can't even see. But still, that was a really big mistake, Benedict. Never ever do that. And after all of this, Benedict really did what he has to do. He sent secret letters and secret meetings. Everything was so cool. And even though he asked her that, like, let's live together, I don't care, I know we can get married, but I will be faithful for you forever. And when he gave a painting, the cottage, and he write down that our cottage, it was so sweet. I cried in that moment, to be honest. Oh my god, it was so lovely. And also what was wonderful is that they were so honest each other. See, they were literally talking to adults. They were just like, okay, this love is, unfortunately, we can get married. They were so honest with each other, and Sophie tells the truth about herself, like who her mother and who her father is. It was a really brave scene to, the communication just like that, it was so lovely. And I was just like, okay, I love them, I love this couple so much, but after this talk I was just like, I love them more and more because they're so honest to each other, so close, and it's so good, you know what I'm saying? And also Benedict coming out to Sophie, this is one of my favorite coming out scene ever. Like, he was so there, like so poetic, I felt like interesting with the woman and also men. Like, if I want you to know, like, this is who I am. And Sophie's reaction was so honest, like not cringe, like not a Stranger Things like I'm not going to mention. It's not like something forced to be, good. It was just so intimate, so lovely, so wonderful, so intense, so from heart. You know what I'm saying? Sophie just like, love is always something important to me, and I don't care like how it's like. I cried in that scene. It was so lovely. Like, mwah. And let's talk about their first night together. It was so intense. I love the chemistry between them so much. And guys, their chemistry is so good. I want to see them more in the other seasons as well. Like how I want to see Anthony and Kate. Guys, they were so, like, I can say that I love them their first scene. Everyone keep talking on the TikTok and Twitter, you know, when the Benedict holding Sophie, they were about to lie down to the bed, and Benedict really get a pillow under the Sophie just like that so quickly. It was so gentleman and really man written by woman, really. But there's one thing that I hated about why they give us that, what if she's pregnant, like what we are going to do. I hate that, like, I hate that all this nervousness. It was her first time. She couldn't even like kind of enjoy, because she was just like, you know, right after that, she was just like, what if I'm pregnant? What if I'm pregnant? She couldn't even get all this happy feeling about the, you know, being with someone who she loves. You know what I'm saying? The right of they do that, she has to start worrying about like, is she pregnant, or, and it was so stressful, and I was so happy that she wasn't, to be honestly. And seeing Anthony and Kate was so good, to be honestly. The second season will be always my favorite, to be honest. I love them. I like watching them like that, and their baby. It was so cute. My heart really drops there. Okay, what I'm going to say about the society is a little bit cliche, but even though we love watching all of these closets, all of this fancy balls, stuff like that, it's a little bit annoyed me in this season, like in every season. Even though you are having a really bad day, you have to wake up, get your hair, not even with Dyson or something, like make it easier. It was really hard, even though a person who helps that, it takes an hours, and you have to sit with that dresses all the time. And what you're sitting, the couch, it's not like couch, it's just like a literally chair. I don't know, man. I know it's so cliche, like seeing this on the season 4. I don't know, it's still there and it kind of annoys me. And about the society, all of this talks between Anthony and Benedict. So Anthony acting like he never even fall in love, like in first season. Of course, he get over her. He fell in love with Kate, and Anthony thinks that all of this happened in season 1 to him is happening to Benedict as well. But no, this one was exactly different, exactly like true love. I'm going to be honest with you, all of this talk between Anthony and Benedict was so true, and I agree, unfortunately. But like, I don't know, like it was really sad, but realistic there, and I didn't get any cliche by that. And Sophie hearing them, and Sophie deciding to, you know, I can do this to Benedict, I can do this to his family, you know. It like, just one time, Sophie, be selfish. I really want to say it to her, but this is her character, and this is, to be honest, one of the reasons that I love her. You know, I love her character. So yeah, unfortunately, they have to break up. But let's just talk about the other characters a little bit more. Let's talk about Violet. So in the first part, I said that I like that she's having a tea with Marcus. It was really great, but I don't understand that why in the really last episode, last minute, she was just like, let's just stay with friends with benefits. I don't understand that, because sometimes, like, I know it's so hard. After all of those years, you were being a widow, you didn't have love someone after your husband's dead, you were just deciding your life to, you know, focusing on your children. It's really hard decision. I know and I understand that, but at least, I don't know, man. I really ship them, but what I believe that I feel like they're going to get married on the season 6, because I feel like in the next season we are going to see them together. Like in the first episode, they're going to be a little bit not that close, and then they're going to be close together, and then all this, like, her kids getting to know about Marcos, and season 6 will be getting them married. I hope so. That's what I believe. And also, one thing that I didn't mention, in season 7 or 6, something like that, Marcos and Violet go out to the park on by the lake. They were, sitting and holding hands. Like, okay, we know that Lady Whistledown is gone, but that doesn't mean that people keep, like, cut all this gossip. They can still see you and can gossip. And talking about Lady Whistledown, in the part 1 I said that the whole society knowing that who is Lady Whistledown is, unfortunately, we lost our spark, because Pam can't even write down a really great brave gossip, because she understands what she is causing, and she was just like, okay, you know what, that's done. I did what I have to do. Now it's time to retire. And I really love the scene when, she was going to that party. She was looking down to a mirror, seeing her season 1 self. I cried. Like, listen, Pam is a girl who is not fitting on the standard by the society. She always feels that she is, left out. She's not fitting all the standards. She felt like she's not going to fall in love. She was a real sad girl. She's also one of my favorite as well. With the Whistledown, she find her power. She find herself a place to be there, to be exist. It was her safe place. To Lady Whistledown, it was her success. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I know it's a little bit weird to say this, but it's just like me and my YouTube, and like Pam with Whistledown. It was something she's doing for herself, and this is exactly what I'm doing for myself. And I hope after like some years or some months I will be thankful for myself, like what I'm doing, why I never stop believing in posting videos. Yeah, that's really what I think about in that scene. It was so beautiful. Even though when I was watching, I just, oh my god, let me rewatch that scene again. Masterpiece. Lovely scene. And I hope that Pam's new book will be so good, and I hope that in some way we have a chance to know what is that book about. And also, I want to ask that why we didn't saw Pam's children, Pam's baby. Like, in the first part, we just saw them as a family, happy family, and that was it. And also, I miss Pamela and Eloy's friendship so much. Guys, their friendship was one of my favorite things on the first 2 seasons, especially the second season, I guess. Yeah. But now we don't see them together as much. And it was sad. And I hope they fix this, because now she's not being Lady Whistledown anymore. And there's a new Lady Whistledown. And I hope Eloise and Pam will just like get some, adventure with that. And I really wonder who the new Lady Whistledown is. I don't have any guess, to be honest. I don't care, but I'm just wondering. And also, I hope that the new Lady Whistledown will be more brave, And Queen accepting that Lady Whistledown is gone. And after that scene, she was just like, okay, Agatha, you can go to your country. That scene, they didn't even talk. They just look at each other. It was so powerful and lovely. Like, I cried in that scene too. Yeah. Okay, I want to talk about Eloise and Haishin. I'm sorry if I spell her name wrong. I'm sorry for that. I was so happy that these two kind of getting together in the second part, because I was really hating about that all the sister fighting, you know what I'm saying? It was so cliche, oh sister, you know what? I don't like you because I love girly girl things and you don't. It just a little cliche, you know what I'm saying? And her first night with the all young kids having first ball, it was lovely. It was cute scene to watch, but I don't like the way they are, their dancing moves, even though everyone on TikTok keep having fun. It's just like, okay. And also the talk that Haishin and Eloise did. Haishin see like how Francesca was sad after the John. She was just like, I'm never going to fall in love. There's a chance that I can lose my husband, and I can handle that. It was so sad because this is exactly what Anthony dealing with it, because he also lost his father, and he was exactly thinking the same thing, like I can handle love. What if I lose my love? And in the second season there's almost a scene that Kate get a bite from B. You know, these two sharing the traumas. Oh my god, it was so sad, and I'm not going to lie, I cried during that scene too, unfortunately. And our characters seeing life is this way, you know, they can see the life very more, you know, different way. It's more meaningful, to be honestly, and more deep. And unfortunately, I want to talk about John's death. So Francesca and John, in the first part I said that they're a little bit boring, but boring not mean that I want them to break up. They really understand each other, to be honest. They find themselves in a silence, but he's dead. But he's being, oh my god, I really cried. Even though they were doing a puzzle, the last time he was looking at Francesca, it really broke my heart. I'm not gonna cry, but I really cried during every scene of Francesca after that. And especially when she was, you know, there's a doctor controlling if she's pregnant or not. That scene was too hard to watch it. And also, I cried. Like, I swear to God, Francesca did nothing wrong in her life. She was a really poor angel. She's like, oh my god, she was so sweet. She deserved everything right. She didn't even enjoy her marriage. She was always worrying about, like, I'm not getting pregnant. This is my fault. I hated it. I hated it. Like, it's not, I wish that, like, time machine or something like that, you know, saying it's not your fault. It's not your fault, you know, if you're not getting pregnant, that it's also can be the problems of the father as well. You know what I'm saying? I cried so hard in every scene of Francesca. She was really, even though in the funeral she can't even get her she can't even leave her feelings. She has to be, does the guests are okay? Does the food okay? You know, worrying about really empty things. My baby. I hope that they, oh my god, you know, I can't talk. I want to talk about Michelle. She's a lovely person. I'm not gonna lie. She's really charming. She's really there. But in the beginning, I was a little bit annoying, to be honest. She was being a little bit loud, and she, like, Francesca said that you didn't even good to me on the Scotland. Like, she was always annoying. So I was just like that. Okay, know your place, girl. This is not your house. This is Francesca's house. Okay. But then when they became a friend, I would like that, to be honest. I don't want Francesca to get annoyed by a person. I love them as a friend. But guys, listen, if Francesca having a girlfriend, I want them to be someone else, not someone who is her dead wife's cousins. You know, this is not a normal, okay? You know what I'm saying? If she's gonna get a girlfriend, good. Give her someone else, not not someone related, okay? This is not how, like, I'm sorry. I want them to be as a friend, okay? Can we have them as a friend? It will be so lovely. And that's all I can say on this topic. Okay, back to Alice and Will. Like I said, they are cute, but I was just like, they're a little bit boring. And even though some parts Will was just there to be giving advices to other characters, he would just like there. His only purpose was showing the characters what is the truth. Like he's supporting the Alice. It was good, to be honest. I love their relationship. Of course, they're really good. And also he was also showing the what Benedict should do about Sophie. You know. But about Alice, she became the waiting lady for the queen. I really like that, to be honest, and I liked her effort for the Sophie and Benedict in the end. It's cool. I like that, but I don't sometimes I want to focus on the main characters, like how it happened on the Stranger Things. You know what I'm saying? Netflix, do not do the same mistake ever again, okay? Stay focused on the main characters. Thank you. Okay, Sophie almost running away from the America. I really cried about it, to be honest. She is looking at the world's map and oh my god, that was so sad. And also leaving all those people behind. It was really hard for her, even though she lost her necklace. Like she was just like, you know what, I'm going to open a new page. Everything will be better. But the life gave her something better. But Aramita was there. I swear to God, like she was about to leave for America. What were doing? Like, what are you doing? I swear to God, do not force it. She was gone. I'm kind of a little bit happy if if she didn't obsess with getting her to president, maybe all of those things didn't happen. So and also after all of this, Posey still trying to help Sophie was really lovely. And during the judging, Benedict and Violet coming to the room, they are defending to Sophie. Oh my god, it was so good, seeing her like she's not alone. But before that night, that police guy saying that if someone is going to help you, they will also get trouble. And Sophie just like, you know what, I'm not. She's so. Oh my god, she was so kind. She was always like a really big human pleasure. It's a little bit annoying, but this is really who she is. And I kind of love her for that. But in some point, I was just like, Sophie, for 1 second, get the help. I know it's so hard for someone who always do everything for herself. She really did everything herself for her lifetime. Of course, it's not easy to her that getting a help. And I really love that, Sophie going back to the Benedict house as a really lovely guest, special guest. And then that night, oh my god, in the bath, there was a really tears on Sophie's eye. Like, oh my god, what was that scene? And also after all of this, Eloise helping to Sophie was so lovely. And Sophie finding out what actually her father gave to her. Oh my god, I was a little bit sad and mad about the Sophie. Like, why she didn't even check like what he's write down for you? Of course, that evil woman is not going to let her to check. Duh. But I don't know, she was just. And after all of this, everything went so good. So in the final ball, we saw like how everything went really well, and the queen was just like, saying Sophie that you will be a wonderful diamond. It was so lovely. I am so happy that they really made up a really great lie. In the society, they're going to think that Sophie is from a really wealthy family. She's a child of marriage, so everything will be okay. I'm so happy for them. And I love that they play The Night We Met. I cried again. Obviously, that song is everything, to be honestly. And he proposed her right over in front of everyone's eyes again. It was so lovely. And one thing I love that even though Benedict really asked her to marry, Benedict was just like, okay, you know what? I don't care about what people think. I want to marry with you. Like, I love this detail, okay? Of course, there's something I want to mention. As I remember, I have to say that, I don't even hear that someone's speaking a language that isn't English. And when Aramita talking with Rosamond on the party in their language, always like, oh my god. I said that in the first part, Aramita is really cool woman, and when she's talking in her language, she ate, like, it was so cool. And I wish that we saw more cultures on the show, but yeah, if you know, you know. And I love that they make the wedding on the cottage. It was so lovely, so cozy. Everyone was there, Posey was there, Sophie's friends was there, and Sophie walking to the Benedict with her friend. Everything was so there. Like, I love it, every single moment of it. Benedict accessories has a little kite on, like, painting right over there. It was so lovely. Every detail was so good. I will love this couple. And the ending was so poetic. Like, the portrait of her, the silver lady, showing her face, Sophie, and the right over the signature of Benedict. So good. I love this season. I love their storyline, but I wish that we had more scene of them, to be honestly. And I hope that Netflix or Bridgerton writers is just like focusing on the more characters. I know we love all of those characters. You know, seeing Anthony and Kate was so lovely, but sometimes you just like, okay, you know, but we don't have any scene. Daphne and Simon, I miss them, but we all know why we can see them, and I hated the reason. I love this season, to be honest. It was so good. I gave it 4 stars, and yeah, I will always remember with a big smile on my face. And lately, I've been back to reading more books. I'm planning to read the books. I don't know when will I do. I guess we have a really long time to new season, so I have time. I believe that I can read the whole series, I believe, because I saw on TikTok that it's really easy to read the Bridgerton books. So, and also I hope that next season we will watch Eloise, because it's really time. I'm really tired. My dearest gentle reader, don't forget to like this video, comment down below, and subscribe my channel. Bye.